Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video, and today we have another Bears reaction video. Now, of course, the draft has recently wrapped up, so I wanted to get this out here. I'm finally able to record some audio. I figured I'd rather just get one big reaction to the entire draft rather than just a bunch of small individual reactions, especially compared to down the line when I'm not going to know a lot about these guys, or at least a lot less, right? Even after Luther Burden, I didn't know a whole ton about Ozzie Trapilio or Shamar Turner. But hey, we're here anyway. So first and foremost, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this once, and I'm going to say this twice. I'm not a draft expert, and just because I don't know a whole ton about you, or just because I don't like you as a player, does not mean I wish for you to fail or not succeed, right? You're doing something that I wish I was doing, which is playing in the NFL. But doesn't mean I'm not going to sit here and say what I think, whether it's based off your stats or just some of the tape I've seen from you after seeing you get drafted. Colston Loveland, I really like, but his biggest concern right now is that injury, right? He was supposed to be back for OTAs. He's now got pushed back to potentially the preseason because of his injury. The last time we drafted a player pretty high that had an injury coming into the draft is Kevin White, and we also saw how that turned out. Now, I'm not saying Colston Loveland is Kevin White, right? But, you know, that definitely lingers in the back of the head since that was just under 10 years ago. That was 9 years ago, I think, 2016, I think. So that does worry me, right? Colston Loveland, very good player. I think he was the best tight end in the draft, just personally. But then again, that could be some bias as well coming through near the end. But I think Colston Loveland's probably the best tight end in the draft. I think we need to see what Ben Johnson will do with him. I don't think this completely eliminates Cole Kmet. It's just going to bring out a lot of 12 personnel for our team, which I completely understand. I think getting two tight ends out there, getting two big bodies, right? Colston Loveland's going to be very, very athletic. Cole Kmet's going to be that sure-handed guy underneath. I think it'll be a good option. And then Luther Burden at pick 7 of the second round. In my opinion, one of the steals of the draft. I thought he was a first-round guy. I understand his development wasn't there. I understand that there were some diva qualities there as well. But I think he's going to be a perfect slot to come in and work alongside Rome Odunze and, of course, DJ Moore. I think we got our slot now. You know, I know we had Keenan Allen last year, and he was supposed to be that guy. But I think we need something young, athletic, and can get open pretty easily. And he'll do just that. Luther Burden I really like. I think that's like an A+ pick right there. I wasn't expecting them to go receiver after they took Colston Loveland. I thought that they were going to rock with Zacchaeus and Duvernay and Tyler Scott. Now, of course, that does mean Tyler Scott's development in Chicago is probably over with, which means he will have an uphill battle to even make the roster at this point. I don't know how many receivers Ben Johnson likes carrying into a season, but he will have an uphill battle the rest of the season. Ozzie Trapilio, Boston College tackle, 6'8". He's very good for his size, but he was playing against a little bit lower competition. I wouldn't say was going against the worst competition ever. He definitely loses to speed is something I noticed, but very, very good. He's going to come in and compete with Kieran. He's going to come in and compete with Braxton Jones. But personally, I would have liked to see some other guys. I don't remember if Mike Green went before him, but I would have liked to see Mike Green. I understand he has the sexual assault allegations against him and all that fun stuff, but we needed edge rusher. They didn't really address it that much. I don't understand why, unless you have full confidence in Deo and Austin Booker to be that opposite edge of Montez Sweat and to have a good 3-man rotation. Or you're expecting to trade for somebody, or you're expecting a free agent to really come in and make an impact. Shamar Turner, I think this is really putting a battle on Zach Pickens and Andrew Billings. I don't think they would cut Shamar Turner because he is a second-round pick. So I think this would be a battle between Andrew Billings and Zach Pickens. I don't know how many defense tackles Ben Johnson and the defensive coordinator want to bring into the season, but I highly doubt it's more than 5. So it will be an uphill battle for one of those guys. I don't know who exactly they would be willing to cut. I would assume it would be Zach Pickens at this point. But Shamar Turner, decent athletics, pretty good just pass rusher from the 3-tech, another guy that can sit behind Gervon Dexter, give us some extra push there. Or we can go double 3-techs and just try to fuck up an offensive line too. Ruben Hypolite, out of Maryland, linebacker, stand-up guy. Well, stand-up backer. I couldn't find a whole ton on him. I really couldn't. And what I could find on him was that people were saying that he should have went much later in the draft. Now, we'll see, right? There's empty spots to fill, right? I don't think Sewell's going to be that third backer. So I think he has an uphill chance to make the starting rotation if we need 3 backers out there, right? Jack Sanborn's off to Dallas, so the spot's open, so he can definitely go take it if he wants to. Zach Frazier, I watched a little bit. He seems very athletic, very bald hawk-esque. He should be able to come in, compete for that 4th or 5th spot against guys like Terrell Smith, guys like Nick McLeod, Sean Wade, stuff like that. I think he has an uphill battle to make the team, but not impossible. Luke Newman out of Michigan State, another guy that should have an uphill battle to really make the team, but there's not a whole ton of guard depth on the team to begin with, / good guard depth, so I think he'll have an easy chance of making the team. He just has to be good. I haven't looked into him a whole ton. I haven't looked into Kyle Monagle, the running back out of Rutgers. But I think overall, just from day 1 and 2, I think the Bears did an excellent job. I don't like us not addressing edge rusher. Ozzy's definitely a questionable pick. Shamar Turner, definitely a questionable pick depending on just looking at the team, right? I think that third stand-up backer was definitely a bigger question mark. I think edge rusher was a bigger question mark. I think safety needed some addressing. I would have personally liked to see Andrew the safety out of Texas. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Would like to see him potentially, especially with the health of Jaquan Brisker. Corner, I don't mind seeing later in the draft to kind of come in and compete against Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith. I know there's still some question marks of if Tyreek Stevenson's going to turn it around after having a down year last season. But like I said, I would have rather seen edge, a stand-up backer, potentially a safety, depending on what we think of Jonathan Owens and Jaquan Brisker's injury. I would have liked to see an edge rusher just because of the depth there and really the unproven nature of Austin Booker at this point. And then, of course, I would have liked to see maybe some more interior offensive line help, right? You already invested picks on Braxton Jones and Kieran and Darnell, right? I don't really see you going tackle unless it's a top prospect. So I'm not in love with this draft class, but I'm happy to be proven incorrect, right? I'm happy to be proven incorrect. Like I've said before, I'd rather be proven incorrect about a draft class and about players than be like, oh, I don't think this guy's going to be very good, and he turns out to not be very good. I'd rather be proven incorrect. Just my nature, right? I don't want any of these guys not to succeed, right? They're doing something that I wish I was doing, which is playing in the NFL. But hopefully this draft class can turn it around, right? Hopefully these guys can come in, be starters, be competent backups, be guys that can rotate in and out if we need them to. Not exactly the way I wanted the draft to go. There was definitely guys falling down the board that I really wanted the Bears to go after that they didn't quite go after. But that's why I'm not a GM. But with that being said, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video or any of the videos here on my channel, I would appreciate it if you guys do stick around and subscribe. But I'll be back with more videos like this. But with that being said, I'm out. Peace.